Yeah, good evening everyone. So today in this session we are going to discuss about the continuation of the previous concept, that is about the rational numbers in mathematics. Okay, so already in the previous video class we have discussed about the introduction, meaning and procedure and format, how to represent a rational number and what is the numerator part and what is about the denominator part, and so four important facts were also discussed about the rational number. Okay, so right now in this session we are going to continue with the concepts. Okay, so in the beginning class we have discussed that the meaning of the rational number. Okay, so within 2 minutes I would like to recall that one. So first of all, how can we define a rational number? Means a number which can be expressed in the form of p by q or a by b is called a rational number. And we have to remember that one condition is that the denominator part, that is q or b, should not be equal to 0. Then we can say that the given number is a rational number. And we have gone through four important facts that are related to the rational numbers. The first fact is that every natural number can be expressed as a rational number. And the second fact, every integer, either it may be a positive or either it may be negative, it can be expressed as a rational number. And third important fact is about the zero. Zero is always considered as the rational number. And fourth one, every fraction can be expressed as a rational number. So with these are the four important facts which we had discussed in the previous class. So right now we are going to concentrate on the important properties of rational numbers. Okay, so rational numbers will be having two important properties. Okay, how many properties? Two important properties are existing for the rational numbers. So what are those two important properties? We need to know now. Okay, so rational numbers are having two important properties, and what are those two important properties? Right now we are going to focus. Okay, so just now I told you that these rational numbers are having mainly two important properties. Okay, how many? Two important properties. The first important property, if you could find this one, it is called as equivalent rational number. So what do we call that one? Equivalent rational number. Okay, so actually rational numbers can be expressed in two properties. Out of those two properties, the first property we are calling it as equivalent rational number is the first property. And the second property is, if you could see here, reducing into simpler form. Okay, what is the second property? Reducing into simpler form. Simpler means minimum value. Okay, simpler form means minimum value or the least value. Okay, first property is equivalent rational number is the first property, and second property is reducing into simpler form. Okay, what is the second property? Reducing into simpler form. And first property, equivalent rational number. Now we have to know what is the basic difference between equivalent rational number and reducing into simpler form. We have to know the basic difference. So first of all, to know the basic difference between these two, so between these two means equivalent form and simpler form, we have to know that rational number can be expressed as p by q. Correct or not? So for example, if we consider any rational number, okay, for example, let me tell you the basic difference is, in equivalent rational number we will multiply with a given number, but in simpler form we are going to divide the given rational number. That is the first basic difference. Okay, the first basic difference is, in equivalent rational number we are going to multiply a non-integer, non-zero value with the numerator and as well as denominator. But coming to simpler form, we are going to divide any non-zero integer with numerator and denominator. So this is the basic difference. In equivalent rational number we will multiply, but in simpler form we will divide. That is the first basic difference. For example, if we consider p by q, okay, let me tell you, if we consider p by q is a rational number. So let us imagine that p by q is a rational number, and I want to convert that p by q rational number into equivalent rational number. Means I have to multiply any non-zero integer. Any non-zero integer means except 0, the value of that integer can be any other number except 0. That is nothing but any non-zero integer. I would like to select that one. The selected one I am taking it as m. Okay, so I am imagining that I have selected one value. Correct or not? So that value I am taking it as m. So that m should be multiplied with the numerator, and as well as that m should be multiplied with the denominator. And now we can say that in p by q, p is a numerator Q is the denominator and M is any non-zero integer. Non-zero means except 0, the value can be any other number. So we have to remember that in equivalent rational number, we are selecting any non-zero integer and we are considering that non-zero integer as M, and that M should be multiplied with the numerator and M should be multiplied with the denominator. But that one process is called as equivalent rational number. And coming to reducing into simpler form. Okay, let me tell you the example first. Okay, what is the first property? Equivalent rational number. Just now I told you that the first property is called as equivalent rational number. So for this one, you just please focus here. If P by Q is a rational number, P by Q means P is a numerator and Q is a denominator. Okay, if P by Q is a rational number, there exists a number. So let it be any other number. Okay, so there exists a number. That number is nothing but M. And what is the condition? M should not be equal to 0. That is non-zero integer. Correct or not? So if it is 0, it is a zero integer. But I have written here M should not be equal to 0. That is non-zero integer. Correct or not? So there exists a number, that number is nothing but M, and that M should not be equal to 0. So that M should be multiplied with the numerator and M should be multiplied with the denominator. So by doing like this, we will get the equivalent rational number. For example, see here, minus 3 by 4 is there. Okay, listen carefully. Minus 3 by 4 is there. Okay. So in minus 3 by 4, what is the P value? Minus 3. Correct or not? And what is the Q value? 4. Correct or not? So in minus 3 by 4 rational number, P value is minus 3. Q value is plus 4. So according to the equivalent rational number, we are selecting any non-zero number. Okay, any non-zero integer that is as M. So here I have taken M is equal to 2. Okay, this M should be multiplied with P and M should be multiplied with Q. That is nothing but M should be multiplied with the numerator and M should be multiplied with the denominator. For example, according to this fraction, what is the value of M? 2. So that 2 should be multiplied with P and that 2 should be multiplied with the Q. Like the same, M should be multiplied with P, M should be multiplied with the Q. In the same way, this M value should be multiplied with the P and M value should be multiplied with the Q. That is 2 into minus 3, minus 6 by 2 into 4, 8. Correct? So right now, minus 3 by 4 is equal to minus 6 by 8 because of M is equal to 2. Now we can see that minus 3 by 4 and minus 6 by 8 are equivalent rational numbers. Got it or not? So minus 3 by 4 and minus 6 by 8 are called as equivalent rational numbers because of multiplying a non-zero integer, that is M, with the numerator and M with the denominator will give the equivalent rational number. Okay, and you should not change the value. Whatever the M value you have taken, that M value should multiply with the numerator and that M value should multiply with the denominator. By multiplying that M with the P, M with the Q, you will get the equivalent rational. So I have given one more example. See here. The same fraction I have taken, minus 3 by 4, but I changed the value, M is equal to 3. So now again, according to this rule, M should be multiplied with P and M should be multiplied with Q. That is 3 into minus 3, that is minus 9, correct? And M with Q, that is 3 into 4, that is 12. So minus 9 by 12. So minus 3 by 4, minus 6 by 8, minus 9 by 12 are called as equivalent rational numbers. Is it clear or not? So finally you have to remember that if P by Q is a rational number, there exists a number which is nothing but a non-zero integer. We can take it as M, that M should be multiplied with P and M should be multiplied with Q gives the equivalent rational number. Is it clear or not? This is the first property. And coming to the second property, reducing into simpler form. So first property, equivalent form. And second property, reducing into simpler form. How can we do that one? See, just very simple. Here, we multiplied the value of M with P and we multiplied the value of M with Q. Instead of multiplying, in second case, we are dividing. That is, P divided by M and Q divided by M. Got it? So the basic difference between equivalent form and simpler form is, in equivalent form we are multiplying that m value with p and m value with q. That is the equivalent form. But coming to reducing into simpler form, we are dividing that m with p and m with q. That is p by m and q by m. There is a small difference. Okay, let's listen. If p by q is a rational number, again the same definition. Okay, if p by q is a rational number, sorry, if p by q is a rational number, there exists a number, again there exists a number is nothing but m, correct or not? So there exists a number m such that m should be a non-zero integer that is not equal to 0, and if I want to convert that into reducing simpler form, I have to divide that m with p and m with q. That is p divided by m and q divided by m gives the simpler form. Got it or not? So now the basic difference between equivalent form and simpler form is, in equivalent form we are multiplying m, but in simpler form we are dividing that m. So p by q is nothing but p into m divided by q into m gives the equivalent form, but p by m divided by q by m gives the simpler form. What the basic difference or not? Just now applying the same definition. See here, example I have taken minus of 48 by 60. Listen carefully. Minus 48 by 60 is there. In this contraction, in this rational number, p value is minus 48. Correct? So it is in the form of p by q. So p value is minus 48 and the q value is 60. Okay, p value is minus 48. Q value is 60. So I am taking one value as m. So m is equal to 2. So 2 is nothing but non-zero. Correct or not? Because m is not equal to 0. M is equal to 2 means it is a non-zero integer only. So I am dividing this m with p and m with q. That is p divided by m, q divided by m. That is minus 48 divided by 2 and 60 divided by 2. That is p divided by m, q divided by m. So finally minus 48 divided by 2 means minus 24 and 60 divided by 2 means 30. So finally minus 24 by 30. Again by cancelling in two table, 2 12 times and 2 15 times. Correct or not? 2 12s are 24, 2 15s are 30. Again in 3 table, 3 4s are 12 and 3 5s are 15. So finally we got minus 4 by 5. So minus 4 by 5 is the simpler form of minus 48 by 60. Got it or not? So finally you can say that minus 4 by 5 is the simpler form of minus 48 by 60. So the only difference between equivalent and simpler form is, in equivalent form we are multiplying that m with p and m with q, but in simpler form we are dividing that m with p and m with q. So p by m, q by m, p into m, q into m, so that we will get the equivalent and simpler forms. Is that clear or not? So please note on this one, very important class. Okay, good evening, have a nice day.